a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Raye, following the path of Bast.
And I'm Charlie.
No, oh my god, I said your thing.
I was going to say Gab.
Oh my god! I was thinking about it so hard. Fucking hell. I'm somebody. Following the path of somebody. Fucking hell, man.
You're following path of the guy with the snake face because you really liked that one image of him with the snake head.
I do like that image of him with the snake head. It's very delightful to me.
The thing is, the image of him with the snake head is the same image of him bottoming for nuts. So, what else does that say about you?
We respect men getting pegged, is what it says.
I'm Charlie. I exist here in this space.
Maybe it's because Bast is in this one that, like, I was thinking about her. I don't fucking know, man.
I'm gonna follow Orzo's path wherever he goes.
Oh,
he just sleeps,
well,
man.
That's valid.
I want to just sleep. I think that would be nice. But yeah, also Bast, she hot? She hot.
She's pretty hot. So,
yeah.
Chapter?
Is this an accurate title to your liking? Aunt Kitty to the rescue.
Fuck yeah. Totally works. No notes.
It's brilliant.
You got it with this one. Yeah. Perfection. Chef's kiss. Mwah. We love you, Aunt Kitty.
Aunt Pussy? Sorry, that's all I can think about.
Fucking hell. Okay. In this chapter, some more Animorph shit happens. That's my alternate title. We don't need it, though, because Aunt Kitty is perfect.
As she is. Yep.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Our crew, they are set upon by the creature. Carter and Sadie, they turn into birds to fly to the airport while Bast distracts the thing by defenestrating herself. Sadie, she gets stuck again, and this time Carter is appropriately sympathetic. Then he lets her sit on his arm so that they can stick together, with the talons. A cop is a bastard, as expected, to Carter, but Bast waylays him with some Karen powers. Then Bast teaches Carter to store stuff in hammer space so that he doesn't have to bring a carry-on in the plane. Pretty short chapter, but it was so deeply excellent. Everything that happened here was good, actually. This is a short one. This might be one of my favorite chapters of stuff that we've read recently. I think that every scene was interesting.
It's very good. Although I think my alternate title for this is just ACAB. But
yeah, that's good point.
Now I'm wondering if I should change my myth section to something else that's fun. Because I don't think I have anything for next chapter. So I think I'm gonna move what I was gonna talk about this time to next time.
I see.
And I'm gonna do something funny and silly this time.
Now for something completely different.
Yeah, now for something that's totally, absolutely mythology related. Yeah. So in case you missed it,
but
you want to talk about hammer space?
Oh, I don't think That feels more like a trope talk than a mythology.
Listen. Listen. Is there a reference that I can find here?
No, this is good because I'm just gonna call it Hammerspace for the rest of the podcast, so we might as well make sure that our readers have established that concept.
That's what I was thinking anyway, just because it's funny. And I've already talked about the duat. I was like, oh crap. I can't just reuse that. So let's just talk about the concept that is Hammerspace, because that's literally what they did. That's what they did here. Thank you.
It's
Thank
so
you,
funny.
Rick Arden.
It's so good.
Because we've already established that the duat is like the weird realm that's like there's layers of it in our realm and whatever, you can reach into it, I guess.
And
it's also the afterlife, but it's also just another dimension of existence, apparently. It's Hammerspace, apparently. Also known as Mallet Space.
I mean,
sure.
I guess.
This is what it's called when usually a cartoon character takes an object out of thin air. You know, it was obviously coined when, like, cartoon characters, like Looney Tunes characters, just brought hammers out of nowhere, seemingly.
Yeah,
but also,
Bugs Bunny
like,
ain't
many
got no
other
pockets.
things.
You know?
Yeah, he does not have no pockets. Nothing. I mean, there's a lot of other things. It's not just hammers. There's apparently guns, disguises, matches, bombs, anvils, mallets. It's just anything. Anything that you can think of that is a funny tool to help us later. Or actually just right now. Because they usually take it out and they just, like, do some weird little thing with it. Yeah. Also, apparently, okay, it says the term technically originates in anime and manga, is what this is telling me, even though, like, the phenomenon is, like, Looney Tunes, but
the specific thing, yeah, that you would call Hammerspace. It makes sense to me what they're saying, because what it says is that when you offend a girl, she just gets an oversized rice mallet and she pounds you over the head with it.
apparently.
No, that's
Yeah.
so valid, though. That makes so much sense to me. I feel like I've seen that. You know?
Yeah.
It's funny because that makes me think, like, specifically of, like, Full Metal Alchemist, but that's not actually the thing at all, because Winry actually had, like, wrenches and stuff that she would just throw
like,
at Edward,
but
it's the same comedic...
She doesn't need Hammerspace, she just has hammers.
Yeah, she just has those around.
That's just her job, is to build stuff. Oh. Yeah, apparently, it was at least popularized as a term by fans of Yurisei Yatsura, and then later also by fans of Ranma 1/2.
Yay, Ranma!
Which is an anime that I also need to watch more of because of the transness and the queerness. Goddamn.
They're coming out with a new one. They're doing Ranma again.
I
haven't seen
Ranma
any of
again?
it, but it looks
Again?
pretty good. Yeah, they're doing Ranma again.
How many times can you invent the wheel, guys? Like, how many times do we have to redo these same anime series? Because, oh my god, there's, like, several films and things, and where's the latest thing? Oh my god, Anime TV Series 2024? There was a live-action television film! Are you kidding me? In 2011. Oh god. Okay. And then there's apparently another, I think this is another anime, yeah, manga series called City Hunter that may have contributed to it, because you make use of trans-dimensional hammers.
Right, so what seems relevant to me is that City Hunter took this idea and then lampshaded it. They're like, she is actually, in the fiction, she has trans-dimensional hammers.
Which,
like, is, yeah.
This is part of the world building at this point. Like,
Scott Pilgrim does the same thing. I don't know if you've ever read or watched Scott Pilgrim.
I mean, I've watched the movie and I've read the first volume, I think.
Highly recommend the rest of the series. They're very good. In Scott Pilgrim, Ramona has the subspace highways. I can't remember what they're actually called, but
is that not what it's called?
That might be right. I don't remember, but she has access to like pocket dimensions and stuff, and so she'll open her bag and pull out a giant hammer that does not fit in there because like explicitly they give her a hammer to fight with specifically to mess with this trope. Yeah, it's great.
Love that. Yeah. And then there's once again more media that also makes use of hammer space. Like that's like the origin. Like there's a few different anime that apparently had the origin of it. And then it became like, I guess, more popularized in the other things.
Right. Like they're talking about games here, and like games are less using it as like a visual gag, and they're more talking about it's the way to make sense of how you have an inventory.
Yeah. Well,
or to not bother to make sense of it, you know? You're just like, yeah, it's hammer space, don't worry about it.
I mean, I like the Dungeon Dragons, like the bag of holding, at least. Like, I feel like that's at least, you know, it's a cool world building thing. I don't know how the other game mechanics work necessarily here.
Yeah, mostly they're just talking about how an inventory only really makes sense as hammer space, because you're like, I don't think you have that many submachine guns in your pockets.
Yeah. No, probably not. Oh my god, they're talking about like Doctor Who, how the TARDIS is bigger on the inside. Yes, the TARDIS itself has hammer space inside of it.
But I don't think that because I wouldn't call just anything that has incongruous size hammer space, because that's just like its own because I don't think the inside of the TARDIS is a pocket dimension, but it kind of is, maybe.
I think it is, like, kind of canonically.
Okay. Well, what I would want to say is that hammer space is a sort of pocket dimension, but not all pocket dimensions are hammer space. Hammer space to me is specifically you store stuff in there and you can pull it out wherever.
And I do think it does need to have a little bit of the comedic effect to be considered like hammer space. Because otherwise then it's just like, I feel there's hammer space and then there's bag of holding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's true. But
or better yet, there's hammer space and then there's like Mary Poppins bag, maybe? Or maybe that's the same thing. But like,
yeah, to me it's the same thing. And I don't know that is necessarily a good line. But I think that it's more funny that way to me personally.
like there's a bag of utility that you can pull numerous things out of to help you with things. And then there's like hammer space where it's like you pull something out of thin air when you had no pockets. Like, my brain is thinking of like oh god, what did he pull out? I don't even remember. I'm just remembering something from Daredevil where he like pulls a weapon out and like he has no pockets at this point in time. I'm pretty sure he might have been naked. So it's like, where did you pull that out of? It's like, you don't want to know. But like,
I feel like that comes up a lot in comics in like a non-comedic way where you're just like, it makes no sense.
It's like, that's a hammer space time, even though clearly it's probably supposed to be in his asshole or something. But
so because I almost agree that like if there's a physical bag, it makes it less hammer space and more Mary Poppins. But I do think that there's a lot of overlap there.
Yeah, there's definitely like these things have the whatever that thing's called. Oh god, I hate my brain. The circles, the overlap circles.
Venn diagram.
Yeah, it has that. There's definitely a Venn diagram of these things, and they have more in common that they don't have in common. But like, that's how I would differentiate it.
But I am calling Carter's Duat Locker hammer space because it's not a visible bag. As far as anyone can tell, he is pulling shit out of nowhere.
It's not visible. Yeah. I think it
Even
can be
if
classified as
Hammerspace has an in-universe explanation, I still would call it Hammerspace. I do think that you're right, and a bag is slightly different, but it's, yeah, they're
like the
definitely
TARDIS
overlapping tropes.
probably is closer to like the Mary Poppins thing, where it's like that's just a pocket dimension inside of there. Yeah, I'm glad we had this conversation.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Good.
Sometimes I just like bullshitting, and I don't have enough myths, so let's talk about this chapter.
All right.
There's a horrible creature outside.
The set
what
animal.
could it possibly be?
So
Yeah,
we
the set
sort of
animal.
talked about this before when we talked about Set. And we were kind of talking about like what creature it is, you know, like trying to explain like what this image is supposed to be representing. What Rick has done here has been like, no, that's the set animal. It's its own fucking thing, and it looks like that, and it's upsetting that it looks like that. And I love this. I love this description.
This is gonna be my myth
like,
for next time. We're gonna talk about it more next time.
We'll talk about it.
But like Rick going here and being like, okay, so that's what the picture looks like. This is how I'm going to describe it in 3-dimensional form, and how terrifying and weird it looks. Like, it's like a greyhound, but not at all like a greyhound.
Greyhound, anteater, sharp teeth. Yeah.
It has squid tentacle tails. It
pointy bunny ears.
Yeah. And it has glowing red eyes, of course. Because why wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's awesome. I love Rick's set animal. Like I said, this chapter, it's not like one of those chapters where you're like, oh, the themes, the cohesiveness, like it's all like so beautiful or whatever. I just think that every portion of this chapter is a banger of its own right. And it starts here.
Yeah. Also, Carter can see as far as its eyes because he still has the sight of a falcon. Because some of that just like either it carried over from, you know, his Animorph time, or it's just a Horus thing. Like, either way,
like he's accessing it, right? Yeah.
Pretty cool. I love that.
I love magic. I love this magic. It's so good.
And
Bast.
Yeah, I was just about to say, we see Bast, and she's terrified.
My girl is floofed. I love that shit. That's so good.
The fact that her hair, like her human hair, is just like poked out all at every end, like she
like
stuck
a
her
Studio
finger in a
Ghibli
light
film,
socket.
you know?
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
That does, you know, happen to humans. Like, that's why you get goosebumps. It's the same instinct.
Exactly.
But but she just gets it extra.
Yeah. I mean, she's cat, so she got to be a little bit extra.
Man,
so
I love when my cats like are randomly floofed in the household, and I'm like, "What happened to you? Why are you freaking?"
Yeah, so she's terrified, and that's not a good thing, because she's supposed to be their protector. She's supposed to be our all-powerful goddess bestie, and she's scared.
Yeah, like, it helps sell this thing as, like, a fucked up predator. I really love, like, Rick does a very good job of establishing this thing.
Yeah. And she's like, it's the perfect hunter. It has our scent. It cannot be stopped. So...
And it's also evil, just like Set himself.
Well, yeah, of course. You know,
most predators are just, you know, doing their job, fam. Not this thing. This thing has malicious intent.
Yeah, literally an evil nature. It shares Set's cunning and everything, and it's got to be called the Set animal because it can't have a name. Like it'd be too terrible to say. It's like the Furies all over again.
I love it. It's so good.
It's like, this is the kindly one right over here. We don't speak its name. It's just Set's little pet, Set Jr.
So the creature does not like the obelisk because it has Ma'at energy. I love that.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. But it starts just running up it. has a little Spider-Man energy to me.
Well, wait, didn't Spider-Man was literally here in like one of the the first of the recent trilogy, right? No, Homecoming. Yeah?
Oh.
No, not Homecoming.
I was like, what are you talking about? Nah, yeah,
I think it was Homecoming that they went to the Washington Monument.
Yes. I agree. Yeah, because they weren't in America in the second film. So it was definitely the first one. Homecoming.
I just this entire time that we've been like going through the Washington Monument, I was thinking about this. I'm just like, hey, yeah, like remember when Spider-Man just like went up the side of this thing and like he crashed the elevator and everything?
I was like not on the same page with you because you were like Spider-Man was here, and I was like in the King Chronicles, like
yeah, Spider-Man, obviously.
Yeah,
you know,
I had totally forgotten about that.
In this universe,
that was the monument. Yeah.
Sorry, my brain is just like, yeah, in this universe, Carter is the Miles Morales, Sadie's the Gwen, except that doesn't work because they're not they're siblings, so that can't work.
Oh my god.
But listen, they have the same energy.
It's really funny. Let's write the crossover fanfiction when they're both there at the same time. Okay.
All right. So yeah, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We can't use the elevator. We can't use the stairs. So we need to fly again. Fuck.
Sadie is actively terrified of anamorphing, and I can't blame her.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be stuck as a bird forever. She doesn't want to go live in the forest and, eat rats
Tobias,
and mice or whatever. Yeah, she doesn't want to be a Tobias. She read Animorphs, clearly. That's why she has this fear. Yeah, and then they're like, oh yeah, but what about you, Bast? You can't fly. Well, cats land on their feet. Duh.
Love that. Good for her. I love that Bast always seems surprised and delighted whenever they are, like, fond of her or concerned for her.
She's already said this before. It's that, like, oh, you guys are probably, like, my favorites of, like, the children that I've had to take care of. Yeah. And it's probably because they genuinely care for her and her safety as a person.
I'm, like, crying. That's so sweet. But also, like, so sad that, imagining a life where everybody's just mean to you.
Yeah.
So Bast jumps out a window, as you do.
Yeah. Listen, she's the Spider-Man in this scene, okay?
Yeah, true.
She literally, like, is plummeting to the ground, and then it seems like she slows down, and she spreads out, and then she runs, and the set animal chases her. And she's going 60 miles an hour. Bro.
They, I imagine that the set animal is a canine of a sort. And so it does have an energy of when your cat aggravates a dog and then they go sprinting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking, like, this is what Bast is like when she gets the zoomies. Like, she goes 60 miles an hour. All right. So now we must be birds, and they did it, like, seemingly instantaneously once again. Carter's like, it's even easier than last time. But as they're flying, the instincts try to take over. Like, ooh, lunch? I want some food. No, guys. I
have to believe that Rick read some Animorphs. Like, this is so... It continues to be Animorphs. This always happened to them.
I have a slight tangent. So did you see we got our Spotify Wrapped recently?
Oh yeah.
We have, for some reason, like, over 30% of our listeners, at least in the past year, have been 55 and older.
What?
I
didn't look at it.
Tell me, our listeners who are older people, tell me, who are you? Hello? Welcome to Of the Oldest Gods. Also, if you are Becky or Rick, as Robert was just like, oh, it's probably just Becky and Rick.
That's hilarious.
Tell me, did Rick read Animorphs? Please and thank you.
Yeah, I do need to know this. Yeah. Because otherwise, Rick and K.A. Applegate are just like psychically connecting. Like,
maybe. You don't know. But yeah, I do love the fact that it's just like the willpower to stay human and everything.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Horace is like, yeah, if you're a bird for a long time, you'll start to feel very birdish. And Carter's like, wow, I wish you would have told me that earlier.
Yeah. Oh my god, he wants to come back in! You fucking
Kitties.
cats! Well, you're gonna say hi to the podcast now. You're coming with me, mister.
Hello, sweet boy.
You say
hello.
Hello, my name is Ortho, following the path of Bast. Because I'm a kitty.
Oh, he's so baby.
He's my baby. He's my son. Okay. Go to your castle. He's just mad because I'm wearing his favorite blanket. Because it's mine! And I'm cold. Alright. We're birds. We're doing birdish things. But Carter can change back just like that. Just like the last time.
Well, no, he has a second of being scared, which is why he is now sympathetic to Sadie. He has to, like, think about his dad and, like, focus on humanity before it works.
It still works a lot faster than for Sadie, who...
It still works for Carter, unlike for Sadie.
Who is a bird for the rest of the chapter.
That's real rough, my girl.
Just like Tobias.
Just like Tobias. Can I talk to you about Animorphs for a second? I think
but
it's
this
Animorphs
boy who became a bird.
Book 3. Animorphs Book 3 is specifically about Tobias dealing with his new bird body. And, you know, at first he's just, like, living in his friend's, like, attic and eating, like, table scraps that he brings for him. And he's like, this is not it. But also he doesn't want to, like, give into his bird instincts and become less human. But he can't turn, there's some real suicidal ideation in that children's book, in that third book of Animorphs. There's some...
It sounds like it would be, yeah.
Yeah. He tries to fly into a plane of glass at the mall. It's really bad.
And he gets stuck like this because, what, he was just a bird for too long?
Yeah. If you stay as an animal for 2 hours, then you're just stuck like that forever. If you're in a morph for 2 hours.
What if, can you morph to human? Can you
spoilers for Animorphs, but if you get access to the morphing cube again, you can regain your morphing power and acquire new DNA to morph. You cannot turn back into your old form because that DNA is gone. But it's okay because Space God uses time travel to let Tobias interact with his previous human self and take his DNA. So then his main form is still a bird, but he can turn into his old human form again.
Space God?
Yeah, do not worry about Space God. He has his own book later. This is too much Animorphs information, but you should know that Animorphs is, like, the fucking wildest sci-fi in the world.
Apparently it is. All I have to add to this conversation is whenever we do this, we need to say it's morphin' time.
It's morphin' time.
Even though that's another reference.
Yeah. That can be a new segment. Whenever I have to rant about Animorphs, I'll just say it's morphin' time.
Listen, it's gonna come up very often. This is the furry religion. We're gonna be in this for 2.5 more books.
Okay, So that was too much Animorphs information. Going back, Sadie is not having a good time.
Yeah, she's really not doing well. Like, Carter, it took him a minute, and Sadie is freaking the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to talk to her. He has to calm her down. He, rolls for animal handling and is like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna calm down. And then he starts talking about his dad and his life with his dad and a bunch of embarrassing memories that he had no one else to tell before now because he has no friends.
This is so... I'm crying. This means so much to me.
Yeah. God damn it, Carter.
But also the sibling bonding of it all.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, like, embarrassing memories, it's, like, little moments of his life. Like, it's telling her what it was really like to live with their dad, which is something that, she's always thought about and wondered about. So, yeah, it's probably a very important moment for both of them. But, yeah. It's not even really important to Carter what he's saying at that point. He's just trying to keep talking to, like, soothe her. But yeah, they end up having this really kind of sad and beautiful moment together. And then, yeah, she calms down. So Carter gets the magic box out of the leather bag that it's in, and he ties it to his forearm so that she has a leather perch to sit on, and takes her with him into the airport, because just doing falconry in the airport is fine.
Yeah, obviously, this is totally okay and fine. Just walk with purpose. As
Except
we find
when
out.
you're a person of color and there's cops around, that doesn't normally work.
I mean, as much as I know this is definitely racially coded, I'm like, but also, would you just let a white guy walk in here with a fucking bird?
I really don't know. It does not help that he's dirty also.
Yeah. There's just a lot of things not helping.
There's a lot of things going on here, it's very true. But also, ACAB. Yeah, this has happened to Carter before when he was not being suspicious of the bird.
Yeah. Also, here's a good meme for Robert. Carter and Sadie going into the airport being like, don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
That's the vibe right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just... Also, canonically, he's tall. I forgot that. I forgot he was tall. Mm-hmm. He's dirty, he's got his weird Egyptian clothes, and he's got a box under his arm and a bird on his shoulder. So, it's not great.
But also, cops have been treating Carter as suspicious since he hit 11, it says here. Which, like,
Jesus.
The fact that this was written... What year is this?
2011, I think?
2010 is the 2010? Copyright. Like, the shit that happened years later that, like, feels so deeply relevant. Like, if the Black Lives Matter protests seem like they came out of nowhere to people, they sure did not. That shit has been going on since there were police in this fucking country.
Yep. And our old white man Rick has given us a little taste.
Yeah. Like, it's not like this is the most groundbreaking shit I've ever seen, but it's also like, it's one of those things where the fact that it gets acknowledged at all feels very relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, thanks, Rick, for trying.
Yeah. At one point, he was a cute little kid, and then he starts getting the look. What's that kid doing here? Is he gonna steal something?
Yeah.
Gross.
You get tall horrible. At all. Well, it's not good to be a black male teenager around police. Like, it's just, it does...
Yeah.
Which is the most fucked up thing I've ever heard.
And on that note... Yeah, so he has to walk with purpose, as I said. He's like, okay, just like act like you know where you're going.
Mhm.
Like, even
So the
though
cop
he
was
doesn't
giving
know.
him the look, though, even though he's, doing his absolute best. And Carter's like looking around frantically for Bast to see if she made it here because she's the one with their plane tickets. And the cop stops him and is, he's like, you can't have pets in here. And then he's trying to get Carter to show him his tickets. And then he's about to take him somewhere. And then the woman, she arrives.
Thank you, Bast. Thank
I
you
love
so
this.
much.
It's so good.
She just like has become Karen. The fact that Carter's like, oh yeah, she changed clothes? What? And she's in like a pantsuit, she's got jewelry, she's got a fancy coat, and she's she's passing all of her deception checks here.
It's so good. The power of Karen, the power of annoyingly assertive white woman, does not have to be used for evil. It can be used to keep shitheads from taking advantage of you and others. Just so everybody knows.
Bast is also not a white woman.
This is true.
We could not assume that.
That
she's just putting on the airs as if she is one. as if she has that sort of power and prestige.
Have the confidence of a Midwestern wasp.
Yeah. So she's like, Carter, how dare you wear these Valkyrie clothes? I told you you're gonna look so dirty. Come on. What are you doing?
She does such a good job. Like her deception check. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's truly beautiful.
Nat 20.
She explains everything.
She's like, this is my nephew. We're going to a falconry competition, but this is actually a kite. Like, excuse me. Sorry. And yes, it can fly on a plane, obviously. It's a bird.
Our falcon has to be first class or else she will freak out. And you do not want that.
She's a prize winner? Okay.
Mm-hmm. We always fly first class, don't we, Carter? And Carter says, yeah, Aunt Kitty. and Bast gives him the look. I feel
like that sells it, though.
That's so good. Aunt Kitty? That's so good.
Listen, that woman would be named Kitty.
Mm-hmm,
okay?
Mm-hmm.
And just to sell it even more, she distracts this man by being like, oh, that's a very handsome uniform. Do you work out? And
and then just booking it.
Before she just like shoos Carter away. Is like, we're gone. Don't look back at him. We have to sell this happening. And so he explains that Sadie cannot change back. But he's like, how did you change clothes? Like, bro, remember, she's a goddess. And 2, she didn't. Ha-ha. Ha-ha. She has no document. The thing she handed to him was a blank ticket. Or empty ticket sleeve or whatever. And she has a glamour on.
Doctor Who's psychic paper energy. But yes, I love the glamour. It's basically just the mist, but actually, it's a glamour. You ever think about how the mist is sort of just a glamour over everything?
Yeah. I was gonna say, have we had this terminology before, necessarily? I don't remember.
Well, I don't think she uses the word glamour. She does, you're right. But I think you're right, though. I think it is the first time that word has been used in Rick's work.
Yeah, I could have done a myth section on this, but like it is quite literally like a thing, not just like glamorous people.
It's like fae, right? A
spell or an illusion cast by witches, at least according to the Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. I think of glamour as a fae term. I don't know why, but
it just says magical spell, an illusion cast by witches. It doesn't cite its source, so I don't know. But then it became, the glamorous, like, whatever high society thing.
But that's
which is really funny because I feel like this is a double entendre though in this chapter because it's a glamour, but also She's putting on a glamorous look. You see? You get it? They're giving me a look, guys. I don't know if they're upset with me or if they're happy that I told them this.
I don't like it. I don't like that at all.
I'm so sorry. I'm very proud of myself for realizing that.
No. This is one of those times when you've connected the dots and I'm like, no.
But I'm right. But I'm literally right.
It's a fun little bit for you. Rick would never say something to me like that though.
Alright, I'm calling out the audience today. Tell me, do you think I'm right about this? Because she's putting on a glamour, but also she's looking glamorous. Okay? Tell me.
It's too goofy ass for me.
I don't know if Rick intended it to be like this. But I'm correct that it's literally a double entendre.
No.
I'm just saying, that's the Wikipedia is what is glamour? It's the impression of attraction or fascination, particularly luxurious or elegant appearance creates an impression which intensifies reality. Blah 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 blah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's textual.
Yeah.
It's literally in the text.
You're right. I just didn't like the way you said it at all.
I'm sorry.
You know how I feel about wordplay.
I love some wordplay. It's my favorite thing. Okay, we got like 1 page left.
Well, this is the most important part.
Yeah, it is. This is the hammer space.
I love you, hammer space. I love you, locker in thin air. She's like, we gotta go fast because there's a creature after us. Just drop your things in the duat. And Carter's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what? What? Who does that?
Carter's like, what are you talking about? And Bast is like, what do they teach magicians these days? And Carter says, we had about 20 seconds of training. Love that line. Deeply funny.
Yeah, literally 20 seconds of training. I don't know what you expected from this boy.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, she's had to teach him everything so far. So
Bast tells him to imagine a space in the air like a shelf or something, and Carter says, a locker? I've never had a school locker. The fact that Carter, has seen, high school, television shows and decided that, a locker is, a charming thing that he wants makes me so fucking sad. Just putting that out there.
Listen.
I'm still thinking about my boy.
Listen, okay, how TV shows present, the high school locker, you're gonna decorate it, you're gonna have all this thing, you're gonna spend so much time there, and the reality of it is that I got, maybe 3 minutes between classes, and most of it was spent walking.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If I had time to go to my locker, I went, but most of the time, I just did not.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Carter watched, Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Yes! Oh my
Thank you.
god. I feel so validated. You know, have I told you about my first, or not my first pet, technically my second pet, because I had goldfish. But I had a hamster, and his name was Ned. It was definitely after Ned's Declassified.
Oh my god. I think maybe you have told me that. It's very charming.
Yeah. So he gives it a combination lock and everything.
13, 32, 33 for retired Lakers. That's adorable.
Yeah. So he holds out the magic box and he lets it go and it disappears. Ooh.
He put it in his locker.
He puts it
love it.
in hammer space. He doesn't take stuff out of hammer space. He puts it in.
Carter says, cool, are you sure I can get it back? And Bast says, no, now come on. And that's the last line of the chapter. I fucking burst out laughing. That might be the first time that's happened to me in this book. That was the funniest shit.
It's not important right now. We need to get the fuck out.
Just the no really got me.
there is a monster after us.
Like, he
Put
just
the box
put
away.
that shit in there.
Run.
It's so good. Okay.
But that'll be a tool to help us later. Oh my goodness. Okay, we did the chapter.
Yep.
I think that means we have to talk about plugs, and I just realized that I need to have a plug. Fuck!
Here, I remember how last time I was like, oh my god, I can use board games? Well, let me tell you about board games. I really like Call to Adventure. It's this very silly board game that has, like, tabletop RPG energy without actually being one of those. What you do is you make a fantasy character by playing the game, sort of. And so you pick, like, a trait and a background and a goal for your character. And based on all of those, you might get, like, abilities or things that you're working towards. And you beat challenges by rolling these little runes instead of having, like, dice or cards that you draw. You have these little double-sided runes that you roll, and they're really charming. And so when you beat challenges, then that becomes something that's, like, canon to your character. And so it's like you run into a ghost and you can choose to either, like, talk to it or banish it, and then you decide which one your character did and you roll, and then that becomes part of your character's, like, mythos. And then by the end of the game, you have, like, this whole little story that you can make about your character and, like, betrayals that have happened to them. And yeah, I don't know, it's very cute and I really like it.
I played it.
Oh, I had no idea. I didn't think it was, like, popular enough that you would have heard of it.
Like, you first said it and I was just like, that sounds familiar. What is this game? And then you keep describing it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I've definitely played this at least once before.
Yeah.
So my other friend, Raye, has been on the pod before. We call them Blake here, but is very into, like, games and gaming things. I want to say that I played it with them, but I've played so many different other, like, games and things with them before. Mm-hmm. Oh god, I would plug some games that I've played with them, but I don't remember what any of them are called ever. Mm-hmm. Like, there was this cute little dragon game, and I almost want to get it because it was very adorable, but I don't remember what it was fucking called, and I have to ask them about it. I'm really pissed now. Okay. I was thinking about how I had played that game the entire time you were doing your plug, so I did not think about what my plug was. You know what? Guess what? My most listened to things were according to Spotify this year.
Tell me some Spotify. Yeah.
Guess what? Can you guess some of my most listened to stuff? Do you know what my music taste is?
I don't think I do. I'm like, have we ever talked about... I know I've talked about my music taste because sometimes I plug music. I don't know that I know your music taste, man. What do you listen to?
Okay, well, the thing is about my top 5 that 4 of these songs were from the same album.
Sometimes it be like that.
So most of my most listened to Spotify stuff is just Baldur's Gate.
Oh.
Because I listen to a lot of Baldur's Gate music. Literally,
see,
listen.
That tracks for me.
Part of the problem here is that I also, like, listened to it while I was, like, sleeping on a plane once. Like, I just, it's like background music so that I can have something going and, like, be able to do other things.
Yeah, I have some soundtracks that I definitely do the same thing with.
I've always been a soundtrack person. Like, this is, like, movie soundtracks have, like, always been what I've listened to forever. And so, like, now getting into video game soundtracks, like, listen, that's how I find most of my favorite songs, is that, like, I watch a movie or something and I hear a song in the movie and then I'm like, I'm vibing with this.
Nice.
So either that or I watch an AMV. That's how I got into HAR. As I saw a Steven Universe AMV.
I know
of
exactly
the song
which
Karma.
one you're talking about.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. And I was like, damn, I like this song. So, wait, I sent it to you. That's why. I definitely was talking about this when I was obsessed with it. Yeah, so I guess my plug is the Baldur's Gate soundtrack.
That's hilarious. I love that. How's the music? I've never watched Baldur's Gate because I keep hoping that I'll play it someday. So I don't know what it sounds like at all.
It's D&D vibes. It's like epic,
so like neoclassical, like epic, like Lord of the Rings.
Like yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That is very much what it is. Oh my god. You know what? Something else I should plug. I don't know if I can find that video easily, but there was a YouTube video. I'll see if I can find it and send it to you. That was like one of the songs from Baldur's Gate. And somebody did like a cute little like animation to it, like of them like, you know, how they play the game. But mostly their character is jamming out to this one song because it's the battle song. It's the one you hear every time you are in battle.
Nice, yeah.
And they just had their character like jamming out as a bard to this song as they're fighting, and it's this cute little thing. I love it.
That's very good. My favorite soundtrack to listen to, like recently, I'll just do another plug. Why not? Oh, whatever. There are no fucking rules. My favorite soundtrack that I like got obsessed with, I guess last year, but still, was the Mutant Mayhem TMNT film soundtrack. It's Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Fuck, I'm never gonna find this video. I'm trying to find this one video, and I've watched too many Baldur's Gate videos on YouTube to search this.
I was correct, it is 9 Inch Nails. It's the 9 Inch Nails guy, and he does movie soundtracks now, and he did the TMNT soundtrack, and it fucking slaps so fucking hard. You could not imagine.
I've already told you about this, but I'm gonna tell the listeners about how I keep getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ads when I'm watching Paramount Plus, every time I get one, I think about Raye.
That's
because I just
so
associate you with the turtles.
See, we had Paramount Plus for a little while specifically to watch turtle shit. So that's really funny to me because I thought that we were getting those ads because we were watching Ninja Turtles. Apparently, no, though. That's just, they know what the people want to see. It's Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I love them. They're my sweet boys. Okay. That's enough of all that, probably.
Maybe. I guess so. I guess we should get out of here or something. I don't know.
Well, how about you release us from this mortal coil then?
Fine. Like, you just put your magic box away in hammer space. I don't know if you're gonna get it back, but like, there's a monster chasing us, so.
Well, then we better get out of your fucking house then. We better go.
Yeah, get out of my fucking house. Bye.
Creatures.
What?
Sometimes you gotta run from creatures. Okay.
Okay, bye. Of the Eldest Gods would like to thank its $10 and up patrons. This means you're either in the Savior of Olympus tier or the God Complex tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. Thank you all so much for your support, especially Matt, our God Complex patron.
You can follow this podcast's socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send us a message through the Duat to oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about the Riordanverse or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology, no promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. If you want to hear more from me, Raye, check out my If you want to hear more from me, Raye, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast's Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with the meme maker Robert called The Bits, where we talk about the Cartoon Network show Steven Universe. I also co-host a non-network podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo. Our music was created and produced by Isabel Strauss-Riggs. You can find Isabel at Kane I, that's I is in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing The Kane Chronicles. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
Do you love to be super scared? Do you enjoy listening to hilarious hot takes on timeless classics? Well, fear not, listeners. I'm here! Welcome to the Super Scary Podcast, where we cover everything from the supernatural to the superpowered. I'm your host, Josh, a scaredy cat nerd who enjoys superhero, sci-fi, and horror movies way too much. Whether I'm processing my trauma from Texas Chainsaw Massacre or reminiscing on the nostalgia of Hocus Pocus, my guests and I have a hilarious time going through our favorite and sometimes not so favorite moments. I'm your friend till the end, listeners, because everyone's entitled to one super scary podcast. We post weekly episodes on Mondays, and you can find us at Super Scary Podcast on all the socials. See you in the afterlife, listeners.
Excuse me, I have to go let a cat out. Yeah, you want to leave? Go ahead. Learn how to open doors, why don't you? No, actually, he'd be way too powerful if he can open doors.
Yeah. You don't actually want that.
You know, if he could be like the toddler level where I could still like lock him in, but he could like open doors that were not locked, that'd be fine. It works. It's fine. Okay.
Dave X Media.